You need the timer?
No, the date.
We'll start over. No, you don't, Ed, man. It's special edition 4.
Oh, yeah. What am I doing?
All right, hold on. Restart that.
No, we've already started.
What do you mean?
This is the special edition right now.
We've started?
We've started.
We turned everything on?
It's time to
rock.
rock.
Oh, my God. All
We're
right.
recording.
All right, let's do it.
Do we need music for this?
No, we never come in with music on a special edition.
Now I remember. We never do.
Well, guys, hey, welcome. Welcome, everybody. It is time for a special edition number 4. And how fitting it's going to be honoring this great country of ours.
Yay!
Right? 4th of July, of course. Everybody's out celebrating it. By the time you listen to this, you're probably going to be out there doing your thing, whatever you enjoy doing on the 4th of July. Real quick, before we get kicked off, very excited. We have a new third chair in the studio,
Yes.
man. We want to welcome Rebecca.
Hey,
Hi,
thank you.
Rebecca.
Oh, hey, you know what?
Hey, man. Ed, I like that little wrinkle you threw in there. How'd you remember? It's like a game of Simon over there. I don't know how you remember what
These
color
lights.
goes
You know,
with...
in the new room, we're in a different studio today, guys. The lights are dim.
Yeah.
It's just a different atmosphere.
I honestly
you know?
feel like if we had a candelabra, this would be everything we could need right now.
Right.
But anyways, guys, welcome back to another special edition of the News Freaks. Hopefully everybody's having a good week so far. Hopefully you are enjoying our day of independence here with your family and friends, and being safe out there as well. Guys, what do you guys typically do on the 4th? Do you guys have any traditions that you typically go for?
I stay at home cowering, hoping that no fireworks will hit me.
Rebecca, are you the same? Are you under the
no.
couch
I
like
guess it's sort of a tradition.
like a scared
That
puppy?
sounds more like a Labrador. Yeah. No. We I usually spend time with family. The normal cookout, eating too much, swimming, etc.
I like that Ed set me up for the fireworks info I was going to give you guys. For those of you at home,
perfect.
I want you to be very careful, because every year, fireworks are huge, right? People love them. They love to shoot things off and watch them light up and
God
make
knows
colors.
why.
$900 million a year
Wow.
around this time we spend here in the United States on
That's a lot.
fireworks. Man, we could do a lot with that money, couldn't
Yeah,
we?
like start another country.
Oh, I can't. Listen, that's for another podcast. Anyways, guys, every year, and I want our listeners to really, really pay attention. I'm going to be like the old dad who's like just trying to impart wisdom on my kids here. Every year, 5 to 10 deaths related to fireworks and about 13,000 injuries.
Wow.
Yeah, guys. So let's be careful if you are going to be shooting off some things. I don't want any of our listeners losing fingers or thumbs or any other appendage.
What does that come out to dollar-wise for the amount spent?
Hold on. I'm doing kind of the Russell Crowe, A Beautiful Mind thing right now. Can't quite get there. However, this was one of the reasons I was such a wimp. Like, this was one of the reasons I've never touched a firework, because I think even if I grabbed a sparkler, it would like blow my arm off at the elbow. I just don't trust myself with that kind of stuff. So I let the professionals handle it.
When I was a kid once, I threw a sparkler straight up in the air to see it come down, and it was coming down straight towards me, and then I kind of hurt myself trying to get away from it. So would that count as an injury?
Well, I'll tell you what. Okay, here's
Does that go towards the stat?
I think it would. I'll add it. 13,001 injuries a year, guys, from kids trying to get out of the way of their own sparkler. Well, anyways, growing up, I had actually a pretty cool place to celebrate the 4th of July. My grandparents lived like 2 doors down from this minor league baseball stadium, excuse me, in our hometown.
So wait. It's like, hey, I'm 2 doors down from the stadium?
Basically, yeah. There was a minor league stadium, and they were literally like 3 houses down from it. And every 4th of July, after the game, the baseball stadium lit off the fireworks.
Yeah.
So we could just camp out in the backyard and wait for the fireworks
What a
to
view
start.
that must
it
have
was
been.
it was incredible. Now, if we could avoid the lawn darts, the jarts, that was key. For those of you old enough to remember, they used to have metal steel tip jarts.
Those things were great
They
quality.
were great quality, and I loved playing with those. Now they have the lame ones where you hit the circle and they just kind of
They're so
collapse
bad.
over. They're bad. They're not
Useless.
fun. I want to avoid and have to avoid things like my life actually does depend on it.
It's not fun unless there's danger involved.
Exactly. So I had a great view of the fireworks. And so 4th of July, typically for me, it's always been one of my favorite holidays. Really, it's probably top 1 or 2 holidays there is.
I've always liked Halloween.
I like.
Same.
Yeah, Halloween's great. Halloween, I know, Edmund, you always like to dress. I do too, actually. I do. Well, anyways, guys, let's talk a little bit about how this all came to be, how we got ourselves in this mess that we're currently in as the United States of America.
Are we in a mess?
Oh, I mean, who knows? It depends on your affiliation, Ed. We don't get political on this show.
Everything's great. I mean, we owe some people money. We're in debt, right? We owe some money.
Yeah, a little bit.
What's new?
Well, anyways, guys, on this day in 1776, the Continental Congress declared that the 13 American colonies were no longer subject to British monarchy, and we were free, independent United States.
And
right?
thanks to that year, the coin has been termed the spirit of 76.
I know. But do you know that the Congress actually had declared, they voted to declare independence 2 days before, July 2nd. And a lot of the founding fathers actually wanted us to celebrate it on that day. Yeah. I don't know how did they do a tug of war? I don't know how we ended up with July 4th.
They made a bet with lawn darts.
The Jart Company.
And lost the game.
A lot of historians actually don't even think the Declaration of Independence was actually signed on the 4th. Most think it probably happened about a month later. Not until.
Do they not have this information?
August 2nd.
It's an important time.
Most historians think August 2nd, 1776 was actually when the Declaration was signed by everybody. We might remember from history class, guys, right? Who had the biggest, boldest signature on the whole darn block?
John Hancock.
Yeah, exactly. It became a phrase. He actually signed it twice, boldly enough. Yeah. I'm going to talk.
Great man and great double entendre.
I'm going to talk about him in a little bit. But another thing, John Adams and Thomas Jefferson, right? They're the only 2 signers of the Declaration to actually go on and become U.S. presidents. Mm-hmm. They both died on the same exact day.
What?
Oh.
July 4th, 1826.
What?
Did not know that.
50 years. The 50th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration.
Well, now, is it possible that that's why they made it the day to kind of celebrate that sort of? I don't know. No, celebration's the right word.
That's what it's always been. They could have done it July 2nd, August 2nd, but they decided to do it
Maybe
July 4th.
It was a weekend.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. You got to see our clerk on Monday. Yeah. Right. We're going to wait until then. Well, James Monroe actually was another founding father. He actually didn't sign, but he was a founding father. He became president at a later date as well. He died on a July 4th, 1831, 5 years after Adams and Jefferson.
Maybe if it weren't for the important date, they would have died earlier, but they hung on.
One more day! Yeah. Don't pull the plug. I got to make it to the 4th. Only one president has ever been born on July 4th, and that was our 30th president, Calvin Coolidge, back in 1872. So getting back to John Hancock, right? Again, everybody, I mean, his name is synonymous with his signature.
He's one of the ones that died on the 4th?
He isn't. No, he isn't. I named everybody who died. 3 presidents died on the 4th. One was born on the 4th.
The fireworks have always been deadly.
But you know what? Fireworks, they loved them back then even. They loved it back then. But it was funny. It's kind of ironic that John Hancock has that biggest signature, that top middle row of the Declaration. Yeah. He might be one of the least known of all the founding fathers. In fact, his 2000 biographer, Harlow Giles Vulgar, actually noted that little is known about this guy.
Well, it's because every time he tried to write a book, he'd only fit like 1 sentence per page. Nobody was going to publish that.
I mean, he did. He really liked to see his scrawl, didn't he?
Couldn't control himself.
So July 3rd, 1781, Massachusetts became the first state to recognize the 4th as an official holiday. 100 years later, it was almost 100 years later, June 28th, 1870, was when Congress designated it a federal holiday. But they only designated the 4th a federal holiday in D.C. until years later when it was expanded to all federal employees. Now, back to the John Hancock thing. There was a rumor that he signed his name so big and bold there that time because he was kind of giving an FU to the British and saying, there it is, I'm the one that did this. Come and get me if you need to.
Yeah,
a lot of people.
It so King George could see it
Correct.
with his glasses off.
Right. A lot of people thought, and there was a bounty on his head and all this stuff. None of that was actually true.
What?
None of it was true. King George didn't even get a copy of the Declaration.
What?
I know. It really was mind-blowing to me as well. So everybody thought that there was a bounty on his head and he was going to have to pay.
And I think I learned this in school.
Yeah, well.
That's a great rumor, though.
We're taking you back to school. In fact, they said, and it is a great rumor because
You are the dad.
they can't.
Crushing dreams.
I do. I wore my New Balances today too. I did. I love those New Balance ads they keep targeting me with. So here we are, right? 149 years later, and we're celebrating yet another 4th of July. All the fireworks, friends, family, flags, food, all the F words you can think of.
Not all of them.
Yeah.
No, this is true. Well, Ed.
Well, maybe.
Yeah, so cheers to America, everybody. I wish I had a cold brew open so I could cheers the rest of the crowd. Are we doing wipes, Ed, or no?
Special edition. We never do wipes on this, or do we? I don't remember.
I think you better throw one in there. All right, Ed. So we're gonna kind of do a little.
Wait a minute, Rebecca. You like our wipes there?
I do.
They're nice,
I do.
aren't they? Yeah, just kind of,
Snazzy.
The old Super Friends.
So I thought it'd be fun if we kind of talked about some things that are associated with 4th of July that some people might not know a lot about, And we're gonna start with something that no 4th of July celebration can go without. I think that's hot dogs, right?
I thought you were gonna say death.
Well, I was never elected president, and we can only keep our fingers crossed that it happens one more time, maybe in a couple days.
Right.
What's wrong with you?
Well, so sorry. Well, anyways, according to the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council, I can't even say it because it is a real thing. That's a real thing. The National Hot Dog and Sausage Council, Americans are going to eat about 155 million of these babies in the coming week.
Yeah.
That's a lot of hot dogs, right? The council guesstimates also that Americans eat about an average of how many hot dogs a year per person would you guys guess if you had to take a guess?
Let's see. It's got to be probably, have one every couple of months. I'm going to say maybe 18.
18. How about you, Becca?
This is the average?
Yeah, just the average American.
I'm going to say 50.
Yeah, you were closer because you got to take into consideration those gluttons around the country
Right.
that they'll eat like a whole 8-pack by themselves. It's actually 60 hot dogs each annually. Yeah.
I'm failing.
I think, I'm going to be honest, I probably get half of that in a year. I'd say I eat about 30 hot dogs in a year. Yeah, Edman, you don't eat that many. You eat single digits?
Single digits, yeah. I thought I was like rounding up or whatever.
How about Becca? What do you think?
Guessing high.
Like you're eating 2.5 hot dogs a month, basically.
Am I for 30?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I am. Maybe. Who knows?
I think maybe 4 a year.
4 a year? 4 hot dogs
I know.
a year?
And sausage, which is weird because I'm German and I'm
kidding
a
me?
disgrace.
When are we gonna?
my God.
When are we gonna learn to do the show with a calculator? There's a lot of times it would be handy.
I'm not a numbers guy, Ed, and that's ironic you said that because our last episode was all about numbers. So that's very weird that you bring that up again. Well, can you imagine though eating 60 hot dogs in a day?
No.
I can only imagine it.
Well, that's what contestants of the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest held annually there in
Oh, well,
Coney
you didn't tell me
Island.
they were Nathan's hot dogs.
Yeah.
Well, now those I could eat all day.
If you want to be crowned champion, you're going to have to go upwards of that number in one day.
Try and stop me.
One sitting. It's held annually there at the original Nathan's, located at the corner of Surf and Stillwell Avenues at Coney Island there in Brooklyn. Competitive eaters vie for the mustard yellow belt every year. Now, records have been kept on this thing as far back as 1972, despite claims by old-time Nathan's promoter Mortimer Matz. What a name for that guy, huh?
Great name.
That the contest.
Mortimer.
He said he came up with the story that 4 immigrants started the contest back in 1916, and they were trying to settle a bet about who was the most patriotic. And you would have to prove that by shoveling these hot dogs in your gullet. This is you're gonna laugh, but this contest is kind of near and dear to my heart. Back in college, my buddy and I, we used to watch these eating contests all the time. And there was a show on Fox in February of 2002. They actually aired this. It was called Glutton Bowl. And they had these eating champions come on and try to eat these massive quantities of the grossest foods you could imagine. They actually, here's some of the foods. I went back and looked it up. Here's some of the things that they actually ate. Eggs, sticks of butter, beef tongue, mayonnaise, which one guy, by the way, he ate 4 full he ate almost 8 full pounds of mayonnaise in that show.
What a lightweight, huh?
I know.
They also had oysters, and the finale was cow brains. We'll be talking about that one later. But
well, at least they ended on a high note.
Anyways, back to the hot dogs. Our buddy Mortimer Matz there, he eventually came clean in 2010 about that immigrant story from 1916. He admitted the story was false. As for the current day eaters, there are a few names that some of our listeners
So when did
might
the contest
recognize.
actually start?
It was on and off in the 50s, 60s when they started keeping records.
50s, 60s?
Be
They were using real meat back then.
1972 was probably when I can say that they kept records every year on up, okay?
Okay.
So you've heard of this guy. Even if you're a casual hot dog eating champion watcher, you'll know Joey Chestnut.
Which I think we all are.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
Joey Chestnut, yeah, we talked about him on the show,
We
right?
have,
Yeah.
we have. Well, he's the defending champ, Ed. He'll take his crown tomorrow. Yeah, he'll take his crown tomorrow and try to beat the 74 hot dogs in 10 minutes that he ate last year to win the crown. Yeah, Chestnut, he's won every year except for 2007.
I guess you could say he's a glutton for punishment.
Yeah, you could, Ed. Where's the sound effect with the Yeah, there it is. Rim shot. Okay, I said he won every year since 2007, except for one. It was 2015 where Matt, the Megatoad Stoney, beat him 62-60.
Well, I mean,
Megatoad. Come on.
Tight match.
We don't all know that name.
Right.
Now, guys, get this. One of my best friends back home, his name's Brad. He is actually huge into this. He actually talks on a regular basis with the number 2 ranked eater in the world. He's ranked right behind Joey Chestnut.
What an honor.
His name is Jeff Esper, and he'll be competing as well tomorrow at this Nathan's contest. He lives in our home home state of Massachusetts.
Hey, maybe we can snag an interview with a winner on the show.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
If they don't listen to the show and hear us kind of insulting them.
No way, we would not. We would not. So anyways, yeah, these new rankings just came out, and Jeff Esper is number 2. So my buddy Brad was saying how just last week he took down Joey Chestnut in the Hooters wing eating contest.
Oh, that is prestigious.
So we may have a match on our hands. Everybody thinks Joey Chestnut's just going to walk away with it tomorrow, but we may have a match on our hands. We may have something to tune into ESPN and watch.
Upset stomach in the making.
Yeah, can you... Yeah, boy, that
was actually didn't deserve.
We're gonna have to pay. We're gonna have to pay our drummer overtime here. He's working hard today.
How do you determine who wins a wing contest?
Yeah, well,
because I mean, like when I eat a wing, I don't.
You
pick
don't
every single thing.
It.
No,
well,
it's not just a bone
I think
left.
if you leave, I mean, for these guys, they're pretty much like inhaling all the meat off the bone. They're not eating the bone.
Right.
Yeah, some of them probably are, but yeah, I think they have judges there saying, you know what, this one's not picked clean enough, or this one's okay.
So
I want to know, how do you get to judge these, and how do you become a part of the Hot Dog Council?
Are you into both of these jobs?
I'm into having a job title that doesn't require require me to do much.
You walk around with a flag. Hey, wait.
Hot dog councilwoman, please.
Please, come on, please. Look at this. What kind are you using there? Oh yeah, that looks good. That's pork beef mix. Okay, nice.
Right.
It looked turkey from back here. I just want to make sure. Yeah. So, anyways, I'm excited to see Jeff Esper. Maybe he can give. But everyone thinks Joey Chestnut is just gonna do it again, because the next year after Matt Stoney beat him, 2016, Chestnut came back to whoop him 70-53.
Wow.
Like I said, he ate 74 last year.
And that's a blowout.
Yeah. Now, before Joey Chestnut, you guys will remember. Oh man, even the drummer,
Literally.
he just. Oh God. We're sorry, everybody. Hey, don't give up on us yet. All right. Anyways, before Joey Chestnut, there was a Japanese phenom, Takeru Kobayashi. You remember him?
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
he was in Ninja
He was
Gaiden.
so tiny.
Right? He was 130 pounds. He guy weighed 130 pounds, and he was down in these hot dogs like they were nobody's business. He was actually the first competitor to break the typical standard, and he set numbers into the stratosphere when he debuted in 2001, when he ate 50 hot dogs. Before that year, the record was like 25.
Oh my goodness.
So he literally doubled
the record.
He doubled. I think it was 25 and a half was actually the all-time record, and in 2001 he did 50. So this kind of laid the groundwork for this gluttony that we're seeing now.
Yeah.
He had a lot of good tactics, which I'm going to talk about. He actually founded the Solomon method, guys. You guys know what that is?
The old Solomon method.
It's where you break the hot dog in half and you eat those first, and then you eat the bun after. That's called the Solomon method.
There's no
okay,
rule
guys?
against having to eat bun and dog.
No, there
at the
is
same
not.
time.
There is not. Now, dunking is what you guys will see a lot of. If
Yeah.
listeners at home are going to watch tomorrow, you'll see them dunking the bread into the water. That makes it easier to slide down the throat, and then you can get the whole thing
What
down
about
a little
chewing,
easier.
though?
You know what? I can't believe there's not more choking-related accidents at these.
No, not choking, chewing. Do they actually chew?
I know, that's what I mean.
the
I
food?
don't know if they
okay.
do, so I would think there'd be a lot
Yeah.
more choking on. Hot dogs are like the number one choked on food, I think, right? I mean,
Right. That
grapes
sounds-
maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm seeing a
grapes.
connection
And
between these like firework deaths and these hot dog.
Well, the thing is that the
very
powerful,
morbid for the happy fourth, everybody.
The powerful beef and sausage council has made it so that any deaths related to
Oh,
that is
true.
actually counted as firework deaths.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
Did that happen near the 4th? That's all we want to know. Did they have a sparkler in their
So
hand?
they're more like publicists.
yeah, basically. Man, I can't wait to get that.
No wonder you want to get on the council.
I can't wait to get
got all
that
this
bonus
power.
check in the mail.
Yeah,
That's gonna
blame
be
somebody
great.
else. That's yeah.
So
bonus.
guys, how about this one? We've got a Carlene Pop, okay? You know what a Carlene Pop? This is when you eat the hot dog and you jump up and down to kind of make it settle down so you have more room in the old stomach there
Oh my
for the
God.
rest
I
of them.
thought you found this hooker I used to date.
Carlene Pop, you remember her? Man, she was
great.
She was sweet. Heart of gold. Heart of gold. Then we also have Buns and Roses, guys. Same thing as the Carlene Pop, although you instead of jumping up and down, you sway side to side, so you kind of just make it go down that way. Well, anyways, this doesn't really have that happiest an ending for Kobayashi. He did revolutionize the game with his advanced training and eating techniques, but unfortunately he fell to earth a couple of years later.
Yeah.
And I guess we can start in 2007 when results had to be delayed at one of these Nathan's 4th of July contests as judges reviewed whether or not Kobayashi had a Roman method incident, also called a reversal of fortune. And that is, unfortunately, vomiting, which can get you disqualified.
Oh, no.
Yeah. The IFOCE, and that stands for the International Federation of Competitive Eating.
Yeah.
I shit you not, guys. That is a real organization. They had to stop the match and decide whether or not he actually lost it at the end. Well, the judges did rule in his favor because he was the defending champ at the time, so they would have hated to DQ him. Right? Well, it was to no avail because the torch had already been passed. Joey Chestnut whooped his butt that time and for every year since. Kobayashi hasn't competed since 2009 because he refused to sign an exclusive contract with MLE, which is Major League Eating.
Poor guy. Well, that's what happens to you in the business when you don't innovate and you just keep on regurgitating old techniques.
He had to add. I mean, he added Buns and Roses and the Solomon method.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
what more do you
you
want?
had the copycats.
The guy was a true pioneer.
Yeah, he was.
I mean,
he
what
was
do you want
at his
from
prime?
him? So, despite his 6 consecutive victories, I think this is the part that hurts the most. At least it would for me. Despite his 6 consecutive victories, Nathan's removed Kobayashi's image from the Wall of Fame.
What? Why?
Yeah. I mean, that probably hurt the most. So he actually, I believe, I don't know this for fact, but I think a couple of years later, Kobayashi tried to do his own thing, like tried to have his own contest on the floor to compete with MLE, and it didn't really take off. So let me ask you, have you guys ever done an eating contest of any sort?
No.
Like a pie eating
not
contest?
Not an
anything?
official eating contest.
Just like at the house, at home?
Yeah, like at the buffet.
Yeah. Can we break this restaurant in one visit? We send them under? Let's try our best. Well, me and my buddy, like I talked about, we used to, in college, one time, and I shit you not, another true story, the same buddy, Brad here, I visited him at college where he was going up there at Western New England. We went to McDonald's and we wanted to do a fillet of fish eating contest. How disgusting, right?
Right.
No, that sounds great.
Well, anyways, it was great at the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, we ordered like 25, 30 of these things, and we were like, yeah, let's see how far we can go. Well, he ended up beating me, and we didn't set a time limit on it because we were just trying to eat as much as we could, so I don't know how long it took us, but he beat me 10 to 9.5 fillet of fishes.
Pretty close.
Pretty disgusting. We slept for the next like 14 hours. I woke up, it felt like I had been drinking for a week straight. I think all the fat and cholesterol, I could have went into shock probably.
You should have done the old Kobayashi maneuver there.
I was trying to do
I was
doing the Buns and Roses, but it just wasn't working.
Hey, you know what? When I was a kid, my grandfather used to take me to McDonald's. I kid you not. This is the absolute truth. I would order 2 Egg McMuffins and a thing of the hotcakes and sausage.
Oh, I like that.
You're not going to believe this. And I don't know, looking back, I don't know how I did this. I could take all 3 hotcakes, I promise you, on a fork. And I don't know how I did it without choking. I could eat them all at the same time. The whole damn thing. Is that insane?
Man, you missed your calling.
How did I not die?
You could have been on Pornhub.
I was just going to say, like, that mouth must be very large.
That mouth, though.
It can do things.
Oh,
that's a
mercy.
hot cake mouth.
It can do things.
I hope your girlfriend doesn't listen to, or maybe I do hope
I
she's
hope she
listening
doesn't too. But for other reasons.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's many other
I
reasons.
thought you were
going to
say
Carlene over there. Carlene Pop.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say you took your Egg McMuffins and then used the hot cakes as bread.
Well, I
and
could
made
do
like
the
a
same with the Egg
sandwich.
McMuffins. I could eat the Egg McMuffins in one bite
One
too.
stop.
Yeah.
You shoved the whole Egg
I could
McMuffin
eat
in
the whole damn thing.
Why-
I don't know
why
how.
would
Why
you
were
do
you
that,
doing that?
though?
Yeah, you didn't
Oh,
want to
he doesn't
enjoy
know.
it.
It was a contest.
It was?
Yes.
In your
Against
own
yourself?
Myself. Yes. You know what?
I know I can do
I
this.
wanted to impress my grandparents, my grandfather who was there.
I just want you to love me. Wow.
But what's weird is that he didn't stop me or anything like that. When I was in kindergarten, I weighed like 100 pounds. This is
Do
why I'm
you
so
love me
screwed
now?
up.
Do you love me?
They didn't want you to live. They're like, let him do it.
Yeah, you're probably
joke.
right. That's probably true.
McDonald's staff, they get nervous. No, he comes here all the time. Just watch.
Right.
Let him do it. Let him do
Yeah,
it.
that's why I have all these problems.
Yeah, I get it, Ed.
I can't even enjoy the 4th of July because I can't go outside the house. Got all these mental problems because of my childhood.
Pew, pew, pew. He's under the table. I mean, this is sad.
Do you still go to McDonald's, though?
No, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because back then, everything was real.
Right.
And the pancakes were normal size pancakes.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, man, these pancakes look so small. Is it because I grew up? No, they just made the pancakes
Those
small.
old silver dollars will get you every time. Well, Ed, man, in this contest, ladies is pimps too. We're not going to
That's
count
true. They
them
are,
out. Since 2011, when the contest introduced the women's division, because before that they just had the guys and the girls fighting it out together, and that didn't work out so well because the ladies did their best, but they weren't going to match 60, 70 hot dogs to these guys.
Yeah.
But They did pretty damn well. They did way, way better than I would ever do, okay? Only 2 women since 2011 have won the mustard yellow belt. In fact, the first year they introduced it, it was sponsored by Pepto-Bismol, and it was the pink belt.
Oh, my goodness,
Yeah.
Pepto. What a
That's
perfect
lame.
advertiser.
So someone gets the men get the condiment and the women get
No, the women get the mustard yellow now. I'm saying the very first year they
but the
introduced
first
it. Yeah.
time
Yeah,
they
yeah.
got the
They just get paid less.
medicine.
They both do.
Right.
Actually, I know they get paid. I don't know how much the winners get paid, but I could not
was gonna
find
ask.
figures as far as, I think it's in the $10,000 to $20,000 range is what I was guessing. Not bad for a 10-minute work effort, right? If you can win it. But then those days after got to be brutal.
I think you just have to make yourself throw up.
You think so?
At least you don't have to buy food for a little while.
Well, you can't do a reversal of fortune on the stage. I know that.
No.
But
I
you
know
can
that.
go home and
Well, anyways, our first lady, and she's a legend in the eating world. Sonia Thomas is her name. She won in 2011, 2012, and 2013. And Mickey Sudo, she's won every year since. Last year on route to victory, she ate 37. Which
Impressive.
is pretty damn good. These ladies are like 120 pounds, if that, 110 pounds maybe.
Right.
I don't know where they're. I mean, they must be doing some kind of crazy new moves. I have no idea. I thought it'd be fun if
You know what Kobayashi ought to do?
Yeah.
Is that his name? Am I saying that right?
Kobayashi, yeah.
He ought to come back and say, "Hey, man, I want to be a woman now," and put on a wig and compete and get with his 50. He can score it.
I mean, he doesn't need to do that. He just needs his picture back up on the Wall of Fame.
Well, I mean, it
there's
doesn't
no
matter what division you
explanation
get it
of
in.
why
Right?
they took it down.
Well, because he kind of came out and said, "I'm not going to sign this exclusive contract." He pissed off.
And then he
Major
competed
League
against
Eating.
them.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
I see.
so he kind of
Yeah.
they kind of
Burned
burned
that
a
bridge.
bridge. Yeah,
Bridge.
they did. Well, anyways, guys, here are the newest odds. We're doing this show a few days out from the 4th, so I'm kind of curious to see if you guys think these is going to be over or under. According to the gambling site Bovada, the over-under for the guys this year, 73.5 dogs. Do you think that's going to go over or under this year?
I think it's going to go over. I think the guy is going to go, I don't want to be like that other dude. I'm going to do everything I can to win. And he's going to hit 75. We're going to have a new record this year.
Well, I'm going to tell you, if it's not Joey Chestnut who does that, if
Yeah.
it does end up to be my buddy Brad's
Yeah.
friend, I guarantee we can get him on the show.
Let's do that.
That'd be great. We got
You
to
know
root
what?
for him.
Even if he loses, we can still get him on the show and then like rag him a little bit.
This is true. Okay,
Razz 'em.
Rebecca, what about you? You think that the men's side is going to go over or under 73.5 dogs?
Man,
What do you think?
I'm gonna say under.
Under, yeah. I'm going to kind of lean towards under as well, to be honest. I asked my buddy Brad before I gave him a call before the show here. He said that number seems right spot on to him, so it really could go either way.
You're going to guess under, and then yet you still want to be in the association? You got to hype it up, man.
Yeah, no, the association.
She wants a closer match, is what she wants.
I see.
The lower it is, the more the competition can catch up to
No,
each other.
I
Of
just want to
course,
be a
of
part of the association
Yeah.
because,
To put it on your resume would be so
Right,
great. Wait a minute,
right.
it shows here, Rebecca. Am I reading this right? National Hot Dog and Sausage Council? 5 years now? Yeah.
Well, say no more.
You're hired. Absolutely. How can you turn someone away with that kind
Right,
of credential? You can't.
Can I get
It's
your autograph?
Harvard and then the National Hot Dog.
Next, on the women's side, over or under 38.5 dogs this year?
I think that with a women's division, being kind of a little bit newer here, they're gonna hit the it's gonna be over.
Yeah, I'm going over as well. Rebecca?
Yeah, I think over.
Wow.
Because if
clean
these people are
sweep.
120 pounds, it's time to bring in some heavy hitters.
It is. Well, anyways, according to all of the prognosticators, they think Joey Chestnut's gonna do it again. They don't think anybody can really reach him. And Miki Sudo, they believe she's the woman to beat on that side. This is pretty interesting, guys. I went to the MLE website, the Major League Eating website. I wanted to look at a few records.
It's still funny.
It is funny. It really is. I wanted to look at a few records, eating records here. Check this out, okay? 8 minutes. This was Stoney, Matt Stoney. We talked about him earlier. He ate 10 pounds of spaghetti with red sauce in 8 minutes.
I feel like I could do that.
No, you
though.
couldn't, because I ate 1 pound back in the day.
1
and it
pound
was a
is
record
just
set.
one box.
Right. You know, when pasta cooks up, that gets
Oh, it's
really
huge.
tough.
It is huge.
It's massive, Rebecca. Although you're really getting me excited for the next special edition when I cook a vat of pasta and have you challenge.
Okay.
Well, maybe you can innovate. Can you eat it pre-cooked? Maybe that's a new.
Oh gosh.
How much time do I got left? I chipped a tooth.
It's like chips. It'd be delicious.
Next one, Taco Bell. Soft tacos, Joey Chestnut in 10 minutes. How many you guys think?
How many in 10 minutes?
Just
Soft
like hot
tacos?
dogs.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I'm going to say like 80 or something.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, 53.
What?
I would have thought it was going to be higher too.
Those are
Now,
record
listen to
numbers.
Sonia Thomas. She's got two that kind of boggled my mind here. 9 minutes, 11 pounds of cheesecake. Sonia Thomas.
11 pounds?
Yes, that's heavy. Cheesecake is heavy.
and expensive.
Yeah, right. Who was footing that bill?
Right.
You guessed it. The National Hot Dog and Sausage
Well, they got
Council.
all the money.
And next, how about this one? 44 Maine lobsters in 8 minutes. 11.3 pounds of Maine lobster.
Also
No, thanks.
expensive.
Yeah, unreal. Yeah, she has some good taste. It seems like. Well, anyways, ESPN just re-signed a deal. They're going to keep the contest on their network through 2024 with good reason. The telecasts average about 1.1 million viewers.
Oh my
annually.
goodness.
Yeah,
Wow.
people are into this, guys. So are you guys going to watch?
That
you guys
is
going to watch this week?
huge.
I mean, I
You
didn't
gonna
know
tune
about
in?
it, but now I'm going
Yeah,
to.
you got to now. Now you know the backstory. You know everything there is.
I don't
to
have
know.
cable, so no, I'm not gonna.
I think you can go online, and I would imagine.
I mean, I'll do that at some point.
So, guys, all we got to do now is we've got a full year. We can just start the training now, and we'll throw our hat in the ring next year and see how far we can get.
I wanted to know if you were able to find anything about like how they trained, because I had heard or read at one point that they were eating lettuce. Did you ever hear that?
Interesting. Well, I will tell you, Rebecca. You can look it up after, and we'll look it up after the show. Maybe we'll mention it the next show we do. There is a documentary that follows this, and I've watched it several times. I cannot remember the name of it, but it actually follows 4 or 5 competitive eaters, top competitive eaters, and it follows them around through these competitions. So you do get to see. I remember one guy like running around his like dining room table, like just doing all kinds of weird exercises, weird stomach kind of drills. I mean, there is a science to it somehow. I know
Sure.
it seems ridiculous, but there is something
No,
to it. These guys,
I know that part must be
they
true.
tour the country and they go to these events. They make some of the top eaters. They can make like 6-figure income from
maybe
this
I
stuff.
could make something like a stomach stretcher or something like. I get it endorsed by the MLE there.
We're always thinking.
You know, all
inventions.
this talk of food has made me hungry. I think I'm going to eat something, but slowly.
All right, Ed. Well, on that note, let's hit that wipe for our next.
You got it. Hey, Rebecca, get a load of this one. You ready? The old
nice.
Transformers wipe there. That's a good one, too.
Well, more than meets the eye, just like the meal that Ed has over there. Ed, I put you on the timer. You only have 45 seconds to eat that entire thing.
Oh my
I think I'm going to
goodness.
lose.
All right. He hasn't even got the wrapper off yet, guys. All right. So we're moving on to some more things that we associate with the 4th of July. What could be more American than baseball? Apple pie, parades. I mean, all things that we enjoy, right?
Foreign wars?
I
Illegal foreign wars?
What?
All right, we'll stay out of that. I'm
Thanks,
sorry.
Sorry. So, anyways, I thought we'd do a little story on each of these 3 things. I remember growing up, my hometown, a town there in the Western Mass area called Pittsfield. We actually still have a parade annually, and it's televised as well. It's one of those nice little hometown parades. And as a kid, I always used to like going, but as I got older, I didn't enjoy it so much anymore. You guys parade
That's so sad.
people or no?
No,
No, not really. No.
not really.
No.
Because it involves usually standing in the sun.
A long time.
And
And you're watching
waiting.
other people do stuff. I mean, I
gotta-
can just
Right.
walk.
We gotta get dressed.
You
It's
know,
just
watch
like
other
so
people
much.
walk.
I mean, you guys don't know. We are actually we're all doing shows in kimonos here, and we have nice ambiance here. We've got some smooth.
Oh no,
smooth
I'll
music
tell you, I
playing.
did once see a parade over at Universal, and I don't know how they do these things, but the people were falling all over each other. They were arguing. They were out of sync. And I saw a parade at Disney, and everybody was like spot on, man. Just the contrast was jarring. So I hope they've changed their ways since then.
What, you didn't like that
I
they were
think
spot on?
I think it was, am I saying it right? Universal Studio, is that the movie studio? Where's the place where what's the competitor
Universal
to Disney?
Studios it's a theme park in Orlando.
It's a theme
Yeah.
park. It's not just a movie house, right? It's an actual theme.
No,
park.
it's a theme park. You're thinking of Disney has Hollywood Studios, which is one of the theme parks within Disney.
I'm so confused. All right, let's go on. Sorry, these special editions are more relaxed.
Yeah, we're not.
Yes.
We have no format here. It's just like old friends
no
getting
place
together
to
for a
be,
conversation.
nowhere to go.
We're just catching up. We're just off the cuff here.
Does anyone have a sparkler?
I should have brought some in. That would have been great. We could have just been holding them as we're
Right,
recording here. Well, anyways, parade. It got me thinking of what was probably like the most famous parade ever held here in the United
A
States.
Macy's parade,
Yeah,
without a doubt.
for sure.
Everyone knows a Macy's parade.
It is, but I was thinking more on the 4th of July.
The 4th of July Macy's parade.
So I went
no
back.
idea.
I went back in the archives here. I went to the library and I used a little microfiche and I fished out something for us here.
We have a microfiche reader?
Hey, listen, man, I got it. We got it all. As we mentioned on last show, Ed, man, the news freaks, we just keep growing and growing. So we've got a little bit more budget
We have
now.
divisions I haven't even heard of.
Yeah. I actually, by the way, I did hire 2 new microfiche interns. So.
Are they good looking?
I mean, what 1 out of 2 ain't bad. So, anyways, I went back and I looked up an article on the July 4th, 1976 Bicentennial Parade that we held there in Washington, D.C. That was a big event.
Yeah, it's
really
the
big
Bicentennial.
event. Yeah, it's huge. 500,000 people turned out to check that thing out. So that was well attended. You guys wouldn't have gone, but most of the people back then did.
No, I remember the Bicentennial.
Yeah, I mean,
it was
I
a
don't.
big deal.
I actually was a year before I was born, so I do not remember that. I don't. But I went.
They made up special quarters and everything.
I went back and I pulled up an old July 4th, 1976 edition of the New York Times, and I thought it'd be fun to kind of read some select paragraphs from this article about this Bicentennial Parade and see how far or how little we've come as a country.
Oh, it'll be so great to hear some newspaper articles that don't mention Trump.
It will be. Oh my God, how do you make his way in this one?
Right.
All right. Well, anyways, guys, this was written by the old reporter Richard Halloran back then in July 4th, 1976. And the Times started out, they try to evoke these images of just, nostalgia. Obviously it's nostalgic now because I'm reading it 50 years later, but
It's double nostalgia.
it is. It probably was nostalgic at the time. People who were reading this were like thinking back to the 30s. Anyways, he starts off the article, "The woman in the yellow jersey may have said it best when she clapped her hands and shouted to her friend marching by, 'Everything's okay. Looking good, looking good.'" What a way. I wish I was at this parade, right? It was a grand day for the Bicentennial Parade in the nation's capital today, and it was a grand parade celebrating the diversity that is America.
Right.
Doesn't this get you like fired up? You're
Yeah.
just like, whoa. It was warm under a hazy sun, but not one of Washington's blistering summer days.
I feel like he's stretching for time.
He is a little bit. That's why I'm not reading the whole article. And 500,000 people, according to the official estimate, turned out to see more than 50 bands, 50 bands, floats, and 90 marching
That's
units.
a lot. I would call that a bunch.
President Ford missed the parade. This is something about Trump because he was playing golf at Burning Tree Country Club in suburban
Oh my
Maryland.
God. Things never change, do they?
But in a series of speeches prepared for the bicentennial celebrations, he paid tribute to the American adventure while saying that the blessings of liberty must still be defended.
He doesn't get excoriated for it, huh?
No, he didn't. Guess who was the Grand Marshal that year?
Oh, geez,
A very
gotta be,
popular singer from the 70s, a male singer that was very, very popular in the 70s.
Mick Jagger.
That's a good guess.
Freddie Mercury.
It was Johnny Cash.
Oh,
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Vice-
That's more fitting.
Vice President Rockefeller and Johnny Cash led the parade here in separate cars up Constitution Avenue, then retired to a reviewing stand to watch from behind bulletproof glass. Great day for a parade, huh, guys? I said great day for a parade. Forget it. The vice president soon removed his coat and took pictures of the marchers, just like everyone else. He's just a regular person. But Mr. Rockefeller got less attention than Telly Savalas.
Oh, well, no wonder.
Who plays the Detective Kojak on television.
Who loves you, baby?
Perfect. I love that you remember that quote. Sitting in the rumble seat of a shiny antique car, Mr. Savalas posed with a young woman in the army and with a policeman before the parade started, later trotted across the line of marchers to sign autographs.
And solved a murder.
He did. The mood of the crowd was that expected at a family birthday party, cheerful and relaxed. The spectators clapped in time to the Marine Corps band playing the Marine hymn, ate hot dogs and popsicles, and pointed out the flags of their home states to their friends and family.
A reasonable number of hot dogs, I might add.
Man, I'll tell you what, it was one of the largest crowds in the history of Washington, surpassing the 400,000 who turned out when General Douglas MacArthur was relieved and summoned home by President Truman in 1951.
You thought they couldn't do it.
More than the 250,000 who grieved at President Kennedy's funeral in 1963, wow. And 200 to 300,000 who demonstrated against the war in Vietnam in the late 60s, early 70s.
I thought they were going to bring up Beethoven's funeral.
Here we go. Now we're coming up to more current times, guys. I kind of just wanted to paint a picture for the listeners, but here we go. Now we're going to get back into more modern America here. The only disorder by mid-afternoon occurred when 69 members of the American Nationalist Socialist White People's Party, or Nazis, showed up 2.5 hours late for their rally in Lafayette Square across from the White House.
You know, if there's one trait that all Nazis have in common, it's late.
They're just not timely. They're just not on time. One man, evidently a Nazi sympathizer, was taken into custody by police after leaping at a college-aged youth carrying a sign reading "Nazis are pigs." One purse snatcher was also reported under arrest. They lumped the purse snatcher in with the Nazi sympathizer.
Back
the
then,
purse snatcher was like, wait.
Things were very black and white.
How did they know that the Nazis were coming though to make their sign ahead of time?
You're a good guy or a bad guy.
So here's another one too. Like most parades, this one was late getting started. It was to begin at 11 a.m., but it was not until 11:21 that the motorcycles gunned to life and moved up the parade route. Kind of reminds me of us doing this show, Ed, man.
It does.
We always have the best of intentions, and here we are 3-4 hours later getting kicked off here.
Yep.
So anyways, they go on to
talk.
Hey,
wait a minute. Someone's at the door. Who's that lady?
They go on to talk about.
It's the microfiche assistant.
It's
She went. Oh my! She's like, did you see? Did I do a good job, Terry? You did fine. You did great. So, anyways, they talk about the various floats and performers. In addition, a handful of Indians sat in front of the White House and chanted and thumped their drums under a banner reading "Trail of Self-Determination." A policeman said they had a permit.
Catchy.
They had a permit to be there all week, but it wasn't much of a day for criticism. Mama, said one youngster, pointing to the Marines, "Can I be in a parade like that when I grow up?"
Oh, goodness.
And that's the end of the article.
Huh. It could have been written today.
It could have been written today, right? I mean, that's a sweet sentiment for that little. It just I can see it now. I can see that little boy just looking up at his mom. "Mama, you think I can be in a parade like that?" And it's
no.
No. Why not? You can be a purse snatcher, okay? You can be the purse snatcher.
You don't have it in you, son.
But I thought it was interesting. Now that to me seems way more. It gives you a lot more of a good feeling than a parade today. Like Trump's going to have a parade tomorrow. Did you know that?
Yeah, no? I have a feeling it's going to be somewhat similar.
I don't. I mean, some things may be similar. Maybe that fifth paragraph I read might be.
The crowd numbers will probably be about the same too.
Oh, massive crowds, hugest crowds
biggest
we've ever
crowd
had.
Ever. Bigger than the Bicentennial Parade.
Ever. Well, anyways, yeah, that's a parade, and that was a parade I was interested in hearing about. Also, baseball, like I mentioned. I mean, what's more American than baseball, really?
The hot dog eating contest.
Oh, that's really American now. Time out.
It's the microfiche assistant.
Oh,
she needs to gather that microfiche
I didn't
back.
know who that was. Okay, yeah, she does need to take that back because you know what? We only had it on a little bit of a loaner from the library, so we're going to need to get that back. Anyways, guys, July 4th, 1939, that was a special day for baseball and Americans across the country. He gave his iconic speech there at Yankee Stadium, often referred to as baseball's Gettysburg Address.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys know this speech, right? The today I consider myself the luckiest man in the world. That was the speech. He had just been diagnosed with ALS on June 19th, the disease that would later bear his name. Although, can you imagine he went into the doctors like, "Doc, give it to me straight. What do I have?" He said, "You got Lou Gehrig's disease."
You got you.
Wait a minute, how did this happen? Yeah, well, clearly, it's a horrible disease, and back then they knew how serious it was as well. They gave him a life expectancy of the time of 3 years or less when he was diagnosed on that June 19th. So 2 days later, the Yankees announced his retirement from the team 2 years after that diagnosis, because it was pretty obvious that things weren't going to work out for him as an athlete anymore. He'd have bigger fish to fry at that point. Well, the Yankees then proclaimed, like quickly, I mean, this is weeks later, July 4th, 1939, Lou Gehrig Appreciation Day at the stadium, okay? So between games of a doubleheader against the Washington Senators, more than 61,000 fans watched history as members of the 1927 team, dignitaries, the New York mayor at the time, Fiorello LaGuardia. He's got an airport named after him, doesn't he? Postmaster General James Farley also came out to honor the man and retire his number 4. And Ed, man, I know you're not a big sports fan. If you have a number retired, that means nobody else on that team can ever wear that number.
Right.
Ever?
It's a huge honor. Huge honor in
Right.
sports. And he was the first ever Major League Baseball player to achieve that honor.
That was really cool.
It is really cool. Well, Gehrig, after being lauded by other athletes and old teammates and such, he took the mic and spoke, and he gave his famous speech that many people, you can look it up on YouTube. We were gonna play it for you guys today, but we had to, as Edman mentioned at the beginning of the show here, we had to move the studio into a different room, so we didn't have that clip handy.
No, we'll edit it in. It's fine.
Perfect. We're going to
Everything's
edit
fine.
it in, and that's going to be right here.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. When you look around, wouldn't you consider it privilege to associate yourself with such a fine-looking man as is standing in uniform in this ballpark today? That I might have been given a bad break, but I've got an awful lot to live for. Thank you.
And we're back. Oh my God, that was moving, wasn't it, guys? So anyways, yeah, the applause lasted on that for more than 2 minutes. A scene that the New York Times called, quote, one of the most touching scenes ever witnessed on a baseball field. Gehrig passed away.
Well, I mean, that's a low bar.
Well, no, I love baseball. You know I'm a huge baseball guy. I've seen a lot of touching scenes on a baseball field.
Like an incredible triple.
I mean, almost every time I go, there's a streaker trying to escape security. I mean, you're rooting for this underdog so hard. Gehrig passed away, actually, and the doctors, they pretty much nailed it. He passed away about 2 years later. It was June 2nd, 1941. His life was then the subject of the 1942 Gary Cooper movie, The Pride of the Yankees. That went on to receive 11 Oscar nominations. Here's one more did you know about Lou Gehrig, because I'm a Mets fan, so I typically don't want to do Yankee stories. But I didn't know that all of that happened within such a short time. He was Lou Gehrig, and I know we did a segment on this at one episode a long time ago. He was the first ever athlete to appear on a box of Wheaties. I know we did that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I remember that was a trivia question.
And I don't know if I did that as a trivia question as him being the first ever athlete to appear. But yeah. So Lou Gehrig, I mean, R.I.P. is the anniversary of his amazing speech that baseball fans across the country like. And if you ever need some inspiration or get a good cry out, you can just always pull that one up too. So we're moving on to my third of the Holy Triumvirate here. We're moving on to apple pie.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, you guys like apple pie?
Of course.
You like it, Ed?
It's cool.
I'm not a big sweet tooth. I do like it, but I'm not a crust guy on pies.
Oh, really? The crust is
the
like my
best
favorite.
I don't know why.
part.
It's just too much bread. It feels like too much. I want a thin.
In a pie?
Yeah, it's too
Bread
much.
has too much bread.
I know, but
Pie, it's
the
just a
crust,
little
like you
bit.
get to the end of the crust and it's just all like there's nothing to it. It's just
Well, that part you mixed in with the rest of the pie.
Right. Yeah.
Well, what do they call it when they have like that nice design on top of the pies, like a lattice or something? Is that what they call it?
Yeah, I think you're right.
That's-
Yep.
Those pies always look better than the other ones to me.
Yeah.
The other ones that are just like bread on top or whatever the crust.
And they seem to taste better too because
made out
I
of
feel like
dough.
Dough, yeah.
I feel like the
too
ones
much
that
dough.
don't have the lattice on it taste kind of like, I don't know, plasticky or
Gummy.
something. Yeah.
What about the crumble? The crumble
that
on
one
top?
is the
Those are
best.
good.
Those are good. Yes, those are good. I do enjoy that. Well, we're going to talk about a community in New Mexico. They've got a population of 186 people there. Okay, it's a. Guess what the name?
I wouldn't
is?
even call that a bunch.
It's amazing. They could all get together and have a parade, and they could probably have no problem getting through that one.
Like a
We would go
pack.
to that parade.
Yeah, I
that one
would
would
go.
last really like 3 minutes, probably. 186 people.
Very
coming
little
through.
stand.
Pack of people.
Well, this town in New Mexico is the name is Pie Town.
Nice.
They're called Pie Town. Yeah.
Any reason? for
It's
that?
well, we're going to discuss, Ed, man. They're known for their amazing apple pies in this little town, and I'll tell you why. First of all, its motto, I love this. They call themselves America's friendliest little town. Sounds like a place you might want to go and
It
visit.
sounds like a friendly town.
But you know what?
Pie town.
186 people could go one of two ways. It's either, oh, you guys aren't from around here, are you?
Right. This
Or it
sounds
could
like
go,
a-
hey, come on in, sweetie. We got you. You want a piece of pie? Yeah. Either one. I don't know. It could be, because I know those small towns, sometimes they get very defensive about new people.
Yeah, well,
coming in.
186 people, that's barely a mob. They really.
It is. Well, it was established, this America's friendliest little town. It was established by Clyde Norman in the early 1920s, and it's named after a bakery that specialized in dried apple pies there in Pie Town. Now, they even have a pie festival on the second Saturday of each September. So if you guys are thinking road trip, I don't know.
I mean, I would go.
Yeah, right? That'd be fun to knock off the old bucket list.
Right.
Where'd you guys go for vacation? We went to Pie Town. We went and we stayed a whole week in
And
Pie
we'll go
Town.
to Donut
No, you know
City.
what? Pie Town would be a drive-through. I think I don't even want to stay the night in Pie Town. I want to have a little meal there. Try.
But then you can only have one piece of pie. If you stay, you can have some when you get there, some for dessert, maybe some for breakfast,
You
and
know,
then
when
head out.
When
I
I've told
suppose so.
people I've gone to Pie Town over the weekend, I'm usually talking about something else.
Ed, man, we've got kids listening here, man. Now they got to ask their parents. We're very much a program where everybody gathers around the internet and listens to us streaming. I've heard from other fans. They say we take the kids in the other room and we listen to the news freaks. It's
Is that true?
Much like the radio serials of the 30s and 40s. Anyways, there's a 2014 short biography, and it's titled Pie Lady of Pie Town. And I'm going to get my hands on this thing. And
Biography.
We're going to watch it. It's a documentary, a documentary biography.
Yeah.
It features the story of Kathy Knapp. That's her name. It's only 34 minutes long, so we could definitely put it on the whiteboard, Ed, and we could try
Yeah,
to
I love
get her.
it.
We could order a copy on Amazon for like $5.
Let's do it. And
Yeah.
then let's do like a live streaming commentary.
I'll be honest.
I like that.
I'm gonna-
And I'll bring pie.
Yes. Can you cook as good as they do? Can you bake as good as they
I
do in Pie
can
Town?
cook a
You can
Marie
bake?
Callender's
Oh,
apple pie
I
like
love those,
nobody's.
man.
Maybe we'll see
They
how
are so
fast we can eat
good.
that.
They're the best.
I like actually the Marie Callender's, the cream ones, like the coconut
Oh
cream.
yeah,
Yeah, those.
they
are
don't
really-
make a bad pie.
No, they don't. Marie knows what she's doing.
Her and Mrs. Edwards.
But you know what? Every store I go to, there's so many. She must be really busy. She's
She-
cranking them out.
Hey, maybe we
She
can
is.
order some pies from Pie Town. Maybe they ship them out.
That would be good. Well, listen,
Oh.
Ed, I didn't want to do a spoiler.
We could
I'm
do a
gonna,
taste test.
I'm gonna have to get.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to give you guys a spoiler. I have secured an interview with the subject of this documentary. We just couldn't get her on in time for this show.
Oh,
but,
my
But we will
goodness.
be able to talk to Kathy Knapp. She was willing to sit down and talk with the news freaks, which is now you're excited, aren't
Yeah.
you? Yeah. Well, anyway, she was a woman who left an apparently like high-paying job and a privileged life to go and open up a pie store there in a pie shop in Pie
You
Town.
know, everyone has their own calling.
That's a privilege too.
She actually said, her quote was, she needed to find her center and give the world pie.
And her center was kind of, cut out.
Doughy.
Yeah, it was very soft.
It was very warm in the middle, though. I mean, remember that movie American Pie, you guys? Remember that?
Oh, no.
I saw that at the drive-thru.
I did not see that movie.
You never
No,
saw it?
I've never seen it.
So, Edman, you don't really get the visual of what we're talking about here. The young man wanted to see what it might feel like to have sex with a woman.
I know what you're talking about. You dirty dog.
Yeah. Kids are listening by the campfire.
No, they've got the sparklers are drowning out any jokes we might make.
They're running away from the show.
Running to buy
we
some
don't
pie.
we don't like the news freaks anymore. Put on Peppa Pig. Well, anyways, guys, I googled Kathy. This is how I started getting in touch with her. Right? She's still doing it there. She's still got her shop. It's called Pioneer Pies. And you like that name?
Yes, it's great.
Does it have hyphens like
It
pie?
You absolutely knew it
Nice.
did. It does have pie.
Fantastic.
Near. And her reviews on Google and Yelp are like out of this world.
Let me guess. She has 185 of them.
She's like, I really want to review it myself, but everybody knows how many people there are here. So anyways, yeah, like everybody was like raving about these pies. And I'm like, I've got to get I got to at least talk to the lady and see. I'm going to ask her if she could ship us a couple of those babies out here.
Yeah.
And then we'll have a special edition where the listeners just listen to us eat a Pioneer pie. So
That
guys,
sounds
if
great.
she doesn't want to send them out, you know what, Becca, you and I are
just
going to
gonna
take a
go.
road trip.
Yeah, I don't know if you've thought this through, Terry. Is that going to work on audio? It's just going to hear like.
This is delicious, you guys. I take it back. This crust is scrumptious. Yeah, so guys, baseball, parades, apple pie. I mean, what gets more
Okay,
American than that?
I just looked it up.
You did.
What?
She has literally 185 reviews on Google.
Not true.
I swear.
I don't
Becca,
even believe
no,
what you're
I don't
saying.
believe you.
I do not believe you. No.
Where are you?
Look,
Oh my God, guys, we're not making
No.
this up.
Let me see that. No, that is not true.
Oh my God.
Really does.
This is the best thing that's ever happened on a live show. I can't believe that
everyone
just
has the same last name as well. No, I'm kidding.
All right, guys, we need a real community effort here. We've really got to boost up in the rankings.
Hey, take a screen cap of that
Okay.
so that we can put it on the website.
Yeah,
Sure.
this is unreal.
That's
That's perfect. And you know what? I'm gonna ask Kathy about this. She can't run and
my
hide anymore.
goodness.
We might have just uncovered a 4th of July scandal.
This is a conspiracy.
Did they put that in the documentary?
Oh my God, guys. Well, you know what? Before it gets any more scandalous, let's move it on to game time. Yeah, are you guys
I like
excited?
the Batman
I
wipe
love
there.
it.
All right, guys, can you believe it? I can't.
Crazy.
I'm thrown off a little bit. We only have one. This is going to be our first mini game time, Ed, man.
Yeah,
We're not doing 10 questions. We're doing 5
Okay.
today, and it's going to be a collaboration for you and Rebecca here. And what's going to happen? We're going to test our patriotism here. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Here's what I'm going to do. And I've already talked to the president, by the way. If you can't get 3 out of 5 of these, you have to be deported.
Now I want
unfortunately.
everyone to know
no.
that no matter how I do on this, I do love this country.
He does. Well, anyways, guys, let me break down the game for you. What we're going to be doing is I'm going to give you a very patriotic song. Okay? A patriotic song in our great country here. And I'm going to quote you a line or two from that song, and I'm going to have a blank word. I'm going to give you 3 choices, and you're going to have to fill in the correct word from the 3 choices I give you that complete the lyric that I give you, okay?
Doesn't sound too tough.
Doesn't, right?
Okay.
You guys should be good. All right, we're going to start it. Are you guys ready? Are you guys
Yeah.
ready? You're
Yeah.
braced,
We're
you're
ready.
ready to prove how much we love this great land of
Yes.
ours. All right, here we go. Our first song is going to be the 1906 Spirited March, You're a Grand Old Flag.
Yeah.
You guys remember that one? George M. Cohan written it. He wrote that for a musical called George Washington Jr. I never got my eyes on that one,
That
but I'm
sounds
sure.
good.
Does sound good. Okay, you guys ready? Here we go. Here is your line. You're a grand old flag. You're a high-flying flag. And forever in blank may you wave. One more time. You're a grand old flag. You're a high-flying flag. And forever in blank may you wave. Your choices are stead, peace, or glory.
It's peace.
Final answer? Are you very comfortable with
Your
that?
grand old flag, your heart,
And forever in peace may you wave. I think that's it.
Guys want to go with it?
What's the other choice? Stead?
Yep. And glory.
Well, it's not glory because it's 2 syllables. That wouldn't fit in there.
Okay.
Right? Stead, I don't even know what that means. So that's probably it. But I hope it's peace. I'm going to say peace.
It's peace.
Final answer, peace. Correct.
Yes.
1 for 1.
Good
yeah,
job.
forever in peace may you wave. All right.
I like that song.
Yeah, it's a nice one, right? Okay, let's move it on to question number 2, the 1755 classic Yankee Doodle Dandy.
Yeah.
How you guys feel about that one?
Great.
It was written by British Army surgeon Dr. Richard Shuckburgh. You know, actually, when he wrote this, it was kind of to make fun of the Americans. Like, we just stick a feather in our cap.
That
And
son of a bitch.
Or. But then we kind of added lyrics, and it became like a song of pride for us.
That was when we knew how to take a hit.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
We'd
Exactly.
take it and like turn it around.
That's what we did.
Yeah.
We turned it from an insult song to
Right.
a national pride song. Okay, guys, here we go. Yankee Doodle, keep it up. Yankee Doodle Dandy. Mind the music and the step, and with the blank, be handy. Is the answer gun, dance, or girls?
Answer to that is girls.
Are we going final?
Oh goodness. I actually don't know. I'm gonna have to lean on Edmund.
Edman?
Yeah.
Positive? You're going with
Oh,
girls?
positive.
Girls is correct.
Wow.
Yes.
Good job.
All right.
I always thought that sounded a little maybe
Would the girls be a little handy?
Yeah,
Our
a
current
little.
president would like this
with
the version,
with
wouldn't
the
he?
whole Me Too thing. That song probably is not the best anymore.
All right. You know what? Actually, guys, do you know what kind of pudding they mentioned in Yankee Doodle Dandy as well? You remember that?
No.
It's not. It's a bonus question if you guys can get it. But
Is it? It's not fig, is it?
no, it's not. Tasty pudding.
Tasty.
Yeah, and you know, it sounds delicious. It's grains cooked in milk or water. Yum.
Sounds tasty.
They usually used corn from what I was researching there. Okay, guys, you're looking good. 2 for 2. We're gonna move on to question number 3
Make that
here.
an eating contest.
The 1984 Lee Greenwood song, God Bless the USA.
Oh, goodness.
I mean, a
I
real
love this
tearjerker.
song.
Oh, you do? So this is going to be easy. This is going to be easy for you, I think. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of blank from sea to shining sea.
Texas.
Yeah, Texas, Colorado, and Kansas were the options. Texas is correct.
I need a hint.
So guess
Nice.
what? Guess what, guys? You will not be being deported.
Thank you.
Yay.
You may have to volunteer for ICE, though, if you can't get one of the next 2.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. Question number 4. 1831 Samuel Francis Smith song, My Country 'Tis of Thee. America is actually the title. America, My Country 'Tis of Thee is a subtitle, I guess you could call it. Okay, here we go. Hold on, my writing is kind of getting me here. My country 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty. Of the land where of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the blank pride. Is it soldiers, mothers, or pilgrims?
That
Mothers.
is going to be pilgrims.
I think it's mothers.
I have to take a hard stance.
My
on that
country
one
'tis
there.
of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the blank pride.
And you're going to be working on that hot dog committee and for ICE.
That's too many jobs.
It really is. So what's our final answer there?
I still stick by mine, but I'll let Ed have this one.
Edman, you feel
I'm
good?
separating
Yeah, I feel
myself
good.
from
You
feel
Ed.
good?
Yeah.
Pilgrims is correct.
Oh, no.
You know
Who
what?
cares about somebody's mother? Yeah, it's a pilgrim.
Well, I thought I'd throw you for a loop there because the fathers was the preceding line, so I thought maybe you might fall for mothers.
That would be the
That's
natural
why,
way to
yeah.
put it.
Yeah. Okay, guys, 4 out of 5. You're going for
If
a
you
clean.
weren't made of patriotism.
You're going for a clean sweep, guys. Do you feel? I mean, we only got a couple minutes left in the show. Do you guys feel like your pride for this country has stayed the same, gone up, or gone down?
It's gone up.
I feel like it's gone up.
Yeah.
I'm excited about this pie lady, and
Yeah, I am too.
And I'm gonna go watch the Lou Gehrig's speech.
Yeah, good. And also, you're gonna watch the Nathan's eating contest. You got a lot to do this week now.
Yeah,
I'm a little disappointed.
I'm booked up now.
I'm a little disappointed in John Hancock, but
Yeah, me too.
I'm going to look for his one word per page flip book.
So here we go, guys. Question 5 for a clean sweep on mini game time. I don't think we've ever had something like this happen. I saved the most patriotic song for last. The 2009 Miley Cyrus nod to our great country party in the USA.
I just listened to this.
Did you really?
Yeah, literally, like 3
Man,
days ago.
Are you kidding me? Well, anyways, guys, got to the club in a taxi cab. Everybody's looking at me now. Like, who's that chick that's rocking kicks? She's definitely from out of town. So hard with my girls not around me. It's definitely not a blank party. The answers are hometown, Nashville, or country. For a clean sweep, so hard with my girls not around me, it's definitely not a blank party. Hometown, Nashville, or country.
I think it's A.
I'm going to go with hometown party.
Hometown.
Hometown party, final answer. Incorrect.
Oh no,
That's not true.
It's definitely not a
Country party.
Nashville
Nashville.
party.
Oh my goodness.
But you guys, I mean, I was
I
really
feel so
rooting for you
bad. I
guys.
thought it was hometown too.
Too.
Listen, 4 out of 5 for mini game time. You guys can stay in the country as
Thank
legal
goodness.
citizens. You don't have to work for ICE. I mean, everything is good. We can enjoy the 4th of July the way that we want
thanks to the freedom of this country, we can work for ICE if we want to.
This is true as well.
Win-win.
Guys, we clocked in as the timer's going at a solid 68 minutes.
Well, I got to put a speech in.
Yes, we do.
I
We
got to
do.
take some.
We got to
things
take some
out.
garbage out.
Garbage.
Yeah, I mean, listen, guys, we flew by the seat of our pants. That is going to wrap it up for us. I hope everybody out there, whether you're listening to it on the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, listening to us, we hope you enjoy your 4th of July with your family and friends. We do have a great country, as much as I like to joke here on the show. We love living here. We love that we have the freedoms that we do have, and I hope everybody enjoys it without blowing themselves up with fireworks. Guys, 70% of those firework accidents are us dudes. We're not too smart.
Be safe out there.
Be safe.
Be safe. Happy
Now,
4th.
Are we playing us out with the music yet, or are we just going
I
musicless?
think we might be going. I can play us out. You want me to play us out?
She's never heard the show played out. Guys, for the admin, I'm Terry,
I'm Rebecca.
and we are the News Freaks.
See ya.